What is up, my cutouts? Cardboard Ninja here, coming at you with a game review for a little game that just released on 420, Lamau, called Aircraft Carrier Survival. At least it released on Steam on about 420. So, I've seen a couple of reviews out for this game, and I figured that I should probably put one out myself, just so you guys know what the game is like. And there's no better way to do that other than to kick off a brand new campaign without any tutorials. So, just to give you guys an idea of this game is very much like all the other games you would see with cutouts, as it were. So, for example, you'll have a cutout of your aircraft carrier. You'll see that coming up. You can make your own commander, which will not come in handy or matter at any given point in time. So, when you start the game, you have one of three orders. These are things that you can order your entire fleet to do. This will take up your time, your effort, and your your commander's position on the ship. So every commander that you have, every officer you have on your deck, takes up a position in the conning tower, which allows you to have certain abilities, etc. When they are committing an order, they are unavailable. Defensive position is a great starting ability. Radar is okay. Extra DC team, which stands for damage control team, is also good, depending on what you're trying to do. Defensive position will defend your fleet as well as your escort. This is going to be explained later because everything is explained later in this game. But in effect, you are considered your fleet. Your carrier is considered your fleet effectively. And then your escort is what you have with you. Those are the ships, your accoutrement ships, that give you extra abilities that can kick in, that you can activate and make yourself better. The enemy can attack either you or your escort. And so defensive positions can buff your defense by 2 and your escort's defense by 1, helping you defend against the attacks of the airplanes that are coming in. DC reinforcements is an order that will give you a damage control team out of nowhere. This is also good, but either way, either you're using defensive positions in order to prevent taking damage on an attack in the first place, or you're using DC reinforcements to try and fix the damage afterwards. It's almost always better to have the defensive positions in the first place. Enhanced radar will allow your ship to see further. I'm going to take defensive positions. Voice is irrelevant. Everything is irrelevant. Yada, yada, yada. And this is the game screen. This is where you manage your your ship. In this instance, you have your carrier. If you're going through the tutorial, it's really bogged down, but the very long and the short of it is you get to name your ship. When you get higher up, when you upgrade the Lexington class aircraft carrier, you start in the Lexington, to its maximum potential, you're able to unlock the Yorktown. The Yorktown is, for those of us who do not know, in World War II, Yorktown class aircraft carriers basically won the war for America. The USS Enterprise was a Yorktown class aircraft carrier, as was the USS Yorktown. And then, of course, finally the Essex. For those of us who don't know in American history, the Essex was the final non-nuclear aircraft carrier in the Americans' arsenal. So, and of course, each of these are just iteratively better. The Yorktown is better than the fully upgraded Lexington. The Essex, therefore, would be better than the fully upgraded Yorktown, etc. And you upgrade those with these. You have currency, which are upgrade points, and command points, also known as money and, well, experience, effectively. Your aircraft carrier contains a maximum number of aircraft. You can increase this with experience. My apologies, actually. This is going to improve the ability of your aircraft, not the number of aircraft that you have. The number of aircraft that you have is upgraded here, your hangar capacity. You can get up to 24, 27, 29, 30 aircraft on the basic Lexington, as it were. Other than that, I think I'll probably just jump right into this, unless... Oh, wait, actually. So you can manage your crew. Your crew runs around on your ship, does what you say. Pretty straightforward. You have your officers. Your officers run around in the conning tower and do what you say, effectively. The officer slots, you only start with 2. You can upgrade another one, which I would highly recommend if you're brand new to the game. Since this is going to be a hard playthrough of the first mission, I'm going to try and perfect it. To perfect it, I will show you what needs to be done, or at least I'll show you what needs to be done and try to achieve that. We're going to increase the officer slots by 1. And just like that, we have an additional officer slot, so now we need a new officer. You might be looking at this and wondering, what's 2, what's 3, what do these even mean? The number next to them is the number of either air points or sea points they have. So guy has 1 air point, basically, and this guy has 1 sea point, effectively. Your orders, the ones that you can give, require a combination of blue and orange points to achieve. That's all. So, also, you'll note each of these guys has a card next to them. And that card is something that you're going to use in combat. This game is very much, when you finally actually do start attacking people, which we'll get to, this game is very much like Magic the Gathering. And you have to set up specific attacks and combos with your card in order to crack fleets. The number on the left, where it says combat box, that's 6, is the attack power that your attack gets when that card is used in a combat. The 11 is the defense your entire attack gets when used in a combat. And in the top right of that is the effective mana cost. In this case, this attack would require 2 torpedo bombers. 2 torpedo planes. This requires 1 dive bomber and adds 8, and 8 attack and 4 defense, but if the previous maneuver, which would say the previous thing that you place in your attack, is use fighters, this would get 4 more defense. So this would be an 8/8. Fair enough. That's a minor combo, not a very good card, if I'm being completely honest. Thatch Weave is an interesting one. Attack of all other torpedo bomb maneuvers is that's okay. Attack of the following maneuvers is +4 if number 5 is defensive. Okay, so these are all your cards that you can get. You also have a standard array of cards. I'll show you those when we get there. But we do need an additional officer. I believe Thatch Weave is meh, but it is a fighter attack. So we're going to take a fighter attack because we have 2 torpedo bomber attacks, or dive bomber attacks. So we're going to take this guy. And we're just going to add him to our crew. Bang. Alright, so we now have 3 officers, a bevy of men. The bevy of men are fine. We have other upgrade points that we're going to use. We're going to go upgrade the carrier. We can increase our AA stations, which we will do. AA stations improves your defense when things come a-calling. We're going to go to the escort fleet, and we're going to unlock a new vessel. And this is in the attempts to perfect this run. The new vessel we're going to get is the Independence Type 2. So, not only do you have to unlock it, you have to buy it. Every one of these vehicles has its own ability, but that we'll get into the bugs later. This can become disabled in the UI because of random bullshit. Unfortunately, this game is not perfect yet, and so there are random things that can get in the way. So what we're going to do is we're just going to unlock the Independence Type 2 right now with our remaining points and find and purchase the Independence Type 2, which will take all of our money. So now we have an Independence Type 2 down here. We're not going to bring the S Type 2. So our fleet now consists of 2 different carriers and a Chicopee, which is a resupply vessel. It will give us 2 more of our planes at will. And that's it. First mission. I would read that to you, but I'm sure you're not terribly interested in that. We're going to try and perfect this. So, to perfect it, it gives you your objectives. And if you complete every one of the objectives, you get promotions. Promotions can be handed out to either your crew or your officers, making them better for future missions, obviously. Hence the reason why you want to complete these objectives in a timely manner or complete them in whichever manner that you see fit.
Wake Island has just been attacked by the Japanese Navy, Admiral. There is a White House official on the island, visiting our base there. We cannot get to him while the island is under fire, so we need to find the exact location of the enemy carrier attacking the base and destroy it. Once that has been dealt with, we will have a short space of time within which to carry out the rescue. You must launch a rescue mission to the base, where our men will take the VIP on board for a safe return to our carrier.
So, this first mission is extremely time sensitive. You can take days to complete this, and most people will because of the amount of BS that you have to handle. But this is completable in less than 20 in-game hours, and we're going to try for that 20 in-game hours. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a dive bomber on the deck. We're going to go to the conning tower, and as you can see, there's a cutaway. By the way, this is not a walkthrough necessarily. We're going to identify them and recover them. We don't have to move at all, so this is going to be an easy-ish mission, and we're going to launch the plane. So there's a lot of confirmation that goes into this, unfortunately. So as you can see, we have our number of airstrikes. We have one airstrike available. This guy is going to go to the top of our conning tower and prioritize airstrikes, which is to say, allow us to launch more missions. Now we have a recon mission available and a couple airstrikes available. That's what we want. We also want more airstrikes. But first, we're going to go to... So this is a very high-paced mission. They're going to give you a lot of things to deal with in this game. Right now, we have this little guy on the radar up here. It's letting us know that there's a scout ship that's going to tell everyone where I am in 1 hour and 46 minutes. What this does is, it's going to make it so they're going to attack me for free. And that ain't good. So what we're going to do is, it's not just for free, it's going to basically attack my fleet. That's going to suck. We don't want to be attacked. What we want to do is attack them. So we're going to get 2 fighters on board on the deck. Time controls in the lower right-hand corner, as you can see. And the second those fighters are on the deck, we are going to counter the scouts. Countering the scouts is going to make it so they don't get to attack us. And as long as they're engaged, so for example, the second that this, notice how this is now red and doesn't have a timer? The millisecond that the first plane begins its takeoff on the runway, the mission is considered underway. So you don't have to worry about that timer any longer after that. That's a little foible that you can deal with. After a certain period of time, which will be very, very soon, it's telling my strike wasn't moving, but that won't matter for this entire mission. That's irrelevant. Very, very soon, my dive bomber that I sent out to identify the opponent is going to come back. When he comes back, he's going to tell me what it is we're up against. And now we begin the Magic the Gathering portion of our show. So, we're going to prep an airstrike to attack him. It's going to return back to us. But this shows you what is in the enemy fleet. This is your attack. These are the attacks that you have available. And this is the order in which they're going to attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The order doesn't really matter. Imagine this like, well, again, Magic the Gathering. You have your mana cost, and the mana cost on the top right of these are all dive bombers. The mana cost of these 2 are fighters. This is a dive bomber. And the mana cost of these are torpedoes and a dive bomber. You can put these up here in any order you wish, but as you'll note, some numbers are green, and other numbers will become red, etc. Now, this is interesting because due to this light cruiser, this disables the attack of all support maneuvers. You have offense, defense, and support maneuvers. This is saying the attack of maneuver number 5 is at minus 25%. And this is saying disables all support maneuvers. So any support maneuver that you put up here will have an attack of 0. Because this is due to this one carrier, or this one cruiser, it has the property of disables the attack of support maneuvers. This... I'm sorry, I'm trying to find a basic. There we go. You'll note, well, minus 25% of 3 is not enough. I need something, there we go, 7. There we go, 6. So whatever we put into the final spot due to their actual escort carrier, and by the way, this is the only time the game is paused while you're in the strategy menu. Anything we put into slot number 5, yeah, no. It's going to get nerfed. But that's okay. This is just to let you know that the reason why you don't just come up with a perfect plan and use it over and over again, which you can do, is because every fleet that you attack is going to have a different composition. And they're going to change the way these numbers 1 through 5 function. They're going to nerf cards, they're going to shut down different maneuver slots, and so on and so forth. So we are going to formulate a maneuver that has to have, at bare minimum, 59 defense and enough offense to destroy one of these vehicles. So first we need to come up with a defensive maneuver that's going to do that. So because of the fact we don't have anything much better, we're going to go for the anvil attack, which will increase the attack and defense of maneuver number 5. We want to have higher defense than offense. So we're going to start with a feint. The feint will provide 0 attack due to the light cruiser, but the next 2 cards, regardless of what 2 cards they are, will have plus 75 to their defense, 75% to their defense, which is good. We are going to have Jinking, second to last. Jinking is going to give the attack of maneuvers 1 and 5, that's up here and over here, plus 75% damage, just straight up 75% more damage. And that can go anywhere. That will go here. Bulwark says the defense of the previous maneuver is 125%. Bulwark gives attack and defense of adjacent maneuvers plus 50%. So this is now buffing this card. Where defense is now up to 39, we're getting there, and our final card will probably be Anvil Attack. Anvil Attack gives attack and defense of 125% to the last row, or to number 5. So we now have 50 defense against 51 attack, which is not good. As you can see down here, which is covered by my head, let me remove myself so you can actually see. And let me get rid of my ears. My headset. You can now see, this is what it's going to tell you is going to happen. It says, well, if you launch this attack, 1 to 2 of my squadrons will be either damaged or destroyed, and they say that 0 to 1 of the enemy targets will be destroyed. So this isn't the best attack that you can come up with. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to get to that minimum of 59 defense, if at all possible. We're going to remove Jinking. Even though Jinking is good on offense, it's not good enough. We can improve this with Dive Bombing, which will improve the defense of the previous maneuver, but this thing has 14. So that's 32 defense. So, with a feint, Bulwark, Dive Bombing, Anvil Attack, we have 62 defense, which is more than enough to stop the attack. We will take no damage. Strategy ensures the safety of all of these things. So this mana cost is 2, 1, so this is a mana cost of 6 total. It's a 2/2/2 attack. And they're saying 1 enemy will be damaged if we target the escort ship, but we're not going to. We're going to target the light cruiser. So, when we go over there, those planes will try to focus their damage on this gentleman before going to anyone else. It's possible. It is possible to sink it, even though it's only an attack of 29. We're going to confirm the attack, set the recovery area around us, and we're going to confirm it. We're going to prep another airstrike, and this is assuming the previous airstrike wins. So now we have to do math in our head. This is where fun kicks in. Assuming this guy is dead, it's 18 to 20 less defense. So 18 to 20, basically we're just going to take 20 off the top, which is 39. So we need a 39 defense attack. This is assuming we win. We don't know we're going to win, but hopefully we go in and hit that light cruiser appropriately. I'm going to check to see if I can set up a torpedo run that can actually do a significant amount of damage. This is a 31 attack. So we have a support carrier with us, and we're going to see if we can actually get a good hit in with the support carrier. So we're going to return back to the main screen. We're going to see if this works. If this is bugged, then we can't do anything about it. And we can see if the Independence will launch our attack. It will. So this is going to launch the free airstrike against that carrier group. Excellent. We need to put a 2/2/2 on the deck, 2 fighters, 2 dive bombers, and 2 torpedo bombers. We don't have enough crew assigned in the right location. Usually your air department should always be completely and totally filled up. Hopefully we can get a 3rd guy there. We're going to fast forward real fast. There we go. And this allows us to get the torpedo bombers, is it? Fighter. Pretty sure it was a torpedo. Dive bomber, torpedo, and torpedo. So we're prepping for our 2/2/2 attack against this fleet. Our secondary assault, which is already underway, is free attack launched by our other aircraft. We shouldn't lose any because we still have 8, 8, and 8. We shouldn't lose any because of the fact that we sent them from our support vessel in the first place. So that's the reason why we purchased the support vessel, for that additional free attack. Our scouts have been the enemy scouts have been destroyed. So the enemy scouts were the ones that were above us. We now have to recover our planes. If we don't, well, they crash into the ocean. But it's possible that they can be crash in the ocean, and that's fine. On this attack, they actually managed to destroy the light cruiser, which is perfect. So our free attack, and we can watch a little cinematic, our free attack launched from our aircraft carrier, went in, did a lot of damage, lost all the planes, but it doesn't matter, because those aren't our planes. Not to metagame this, but we didn't care. We sent those guys more or less on a suicide mission in order to destroy one vehicle, so that now their fleet is a lot weaker. But now that their fleet is a lot weaker, we can cancel this attack and set up a new airstrike. We're going to prep a new airstrike against this group. Without the light cruiser, their attack is lower, and then support maneuvers can now also deal damage, which is great, because it means that we can be far more offensive in our assault. We're going to have the torpedo run at the beginning. So this torpedo run is buffing the attack of everything. We're going to try and wipe these guys out in the next attack. This is 3 torpedo bombers, which means that we have the wrong stuff on the deck. Outstanding. Strike from the Sun will buff 2 of them, but we have Jinking, which will improve numbers 1 and 5, 75%. That's using up 6 mana, and then we can do... we only have 20 defense on this. We could improve the defense of the next 2 maneuvers, if I could even fit 2 maneuvers in here. We have 1 plane left. We have 1 plane that can show up here. This will have 43 defense, which is enough, 86 attack, which might be enough. So, as you can see, Strike from the Sun is buffing these 2. The defense of these 2 is increased by 75% due to the feint. The defense of all previous maneuvers, which is none, is getting plus 25%, but the attack of every maneuver after is getting plus 25%. Very good. We don't need more defense, so that's fine. I think that we could get more mileage out of this if we used Bulwark. $86, $32, $89, which nearly guarantees its destruction, $36, which nearly guarantees its defense. Not bad. This is a risky play. So the reason why this is risky is because it is very possible that this does not succeed and destroy them. We almost have enough attack to destroy their total defense. It is very, 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 very likely that we will destroy both. We will almost guarantees our safety of our pilots. So this, if we went with this attack, we would very likely destroy everything, but also there's a chance that something will survive. And there's also a chance that we will lose planes on this attack. So we're going to see if there's anything else that I could do to improve this ever so slightly. I don't think so. So this would only affect adjacent maneuvers. This isn't going to do anything better than what it's doing right now, because buffing anvil attack right now is probably the strongest move that I have. So we're going to confirm this. We're not going to waste too much time on this, and we're going to return this. So instead of a 2-2-2 attack, which is what we have unfortunately prepped on the deck, we need to get rid of all dive bombers. And as you can see, this is going to take a little bit of time because they're going to have to eke those guys out, and we're going to immediately launch this as soon as possible. Because we only have 1 hour to counter these to catch our planes, or we can just let them crash in the ocean, which is what I'm actually now considering doing to show you the other active ability of the other vessel.
Move the dive bomber squadron back to the hangar.
Also, we're not supposed to lose more than a certain number of squadrons, so that could be bad. We're going to grab our... What was it? Fighter, fighter, torpedo, torpedo? Yeah. We need another fighter. We need another torpedo.
Squadron on the deck. Issue a torpedo bomber squadron on the deck.
And we're going to launch this immediately. We need to set our set to recovery. We need to go to our... So after this launches, it will automatically go to recovery. We're going to use our Saipan because we just lost 2 planes, I think. Did we not? We didn't lose them yet. No, we did. They were our 2 dive bombers, were they? Not sure. So right now this is down to the wire for the recovery of our planes. So now we can now recover our dive bombers. As you saw, we had 6 seconds left to recover these planes. We can use Saipan to give us free cap, which is useless. We can use Chicopee to give us fighters, dive bombers, or torpedo bombers. When this interface is bugged, none of these buttons will do anything. You'll push this button and this will not appear, so you won't be able to actually receive your free ships. I'm not sure. We have 3 in the hangar. 3 on a mission, that's a total of 6. So we're going to just take fighters, I suppose. And so this should give us... Yeah, bang. 3 more fighters, just out of nowhere.
Move the dive bombers.
So we have an ongoing mission to annihilate that. We're going to, because we know something in advance, set this to launching. And we're going to assume this attack is going to succeed. We hope it is. We're going to put 1, 1, and 1 on the deck. This is for the mission to actually end the mission. Also, at any time you can see what your mission objectives are, which is hunt down and destroy the enemy aircraft carrier, located in grid square or wherever. Bang! None of my planes were damaged, your airmen destroyed all enemy targets. So, in 2 attacks, we have wiped out the enemy carrier. 1 launched from our support carrier. The other one launched from our vessel using prodigious firepower, which is to say one of the most powerful attacks you can do at level 1, actually, if not the most powerful attack you can do at level 1. And this is basically the first mission. That's it. So our new mission objective is rescue the VIP, which should be prepped, which is to go to the VIP at Wake Island and come back. Confirm it. Launch it.
Stand by to start engine.
And that's it. There you have the very first mission. Once those guys get back, the game is over. We're going to set the deck into recovery. It is not necessary to recover these planes. Well, it is, but it's not. So normally, we're going to set this in normal mode. So this went off without a hitch, not going to lie. Also, one other thing of note, I'm actually pretty good at strategy games. I'm actually pretty good at games in general. So if you're brand new to gaming, this game might not be for you. There is a fuck lot of things that have to go on here. Not even joking. 1, you have to control where your officers exist in the conning tower. 2, you have to make sure that you maintain radar defense, whether or not they notice you or not. You have to launch missions as they come up to defend your ship, whether it's against enemy aircraft. Which is what we did just now. We defeated the aircraft carrier before it could launch against us. When it starts launching against you, the number of attacks that you send out are the equivalent of the number of attacks that you receive. You basically just receive a significant amount of damage. Damage is dealt with in a very, very frustrating manner in this cutout. So this looks cool, and each of these segments does something. The engine section, for example. Main generators, damage control, flooding is in the way back. But everything here does something. And as you take damage, your ship slowly becomes non-functional, and it also starts blowing up your stuff. It's very, very, very frustrating. In order to manage that, you have to have people in your in your damage control department. I almost messed up. Engineering department increases the speed at which your planes are repaired, but also, if you have people in engineering, which is important, it keeps your air department, navigation, damage control, and medical department open. What that means is if you have 2 people in engineering like this, you can keep 2 segments of damage control open, even if damage control is destroyed. Damage control being this one segment right here. This is important, very important. So when you start losing, you can start losing quickly. I've only ever lost once, and it hurt very badly because once things start burning, you got problems. So that's the reason why you have people on fire, you have people on medical, you have people on damage control. As your ship just goes along in the ocean, you're going to have random events pop up for damage. Those are irrelevant. As long as you have one guy on damage control, things are going to be just fine. Other than that... Oh. You're not recovering? There you go, bam. So long as you have a guy in damage control, things are going to be just fine. To push you, also, you're going to want to have a guy in damage control at all times when you're recovering aircraft. Planes will crash on the deck randomly, and when they do, you need a guy in damage control to climb up to the top of the deck and push those planes into the ocean so you can keep doing your job. So damage control by far away is probably the most important. There are 2 buttons, damage control and flood, or deflooding. The problem is the game is still a little bit early access. So the problem is if you have someone in damage control, like this gentleman here, and he's set to damage control like he should be, what will end up happening is if a malfunction occurs on your ship, instead of allowing you to push this damage control button, which supposedly allows you to perform maintenance on a malfunctioning ship as part of the vessel, he will leave damage control, walk over to the thing, no matter how far away it is, and repair it. And the second he leaves this room, the damage control button turns off. Similarly, if you have someone set to flooding, so for example, I want this guy to go to flooding, he's going to come over here and man this flooding. The deflooding button. Great, so I can deflood things manually. Funny story, if flooding happens anywhere on this vessel, he will leave this room instantly. He doesn't care about this room. He's going to go and immediately run all the way over to where it's flooding and try and pump it out with his hands. Thus the problem with these buttons, and the dev definitely needs to fix that. Also, there are several game-breaking glitches. You cannot and should not ever save your game mid-match. So for example, even though we're about to win, I could save it. If I do that, it will fuck everything up. It will not work. This is a big problem. Your load games will glitch if you try to load in mid-mission. Planes won't land on the deck. I mean, they'll land on the deck, but they will never finish landing, and you'll basically, the save game becomes corrupted. So you can't do mid-mission saving no matter how much you would like to. It would really help, especially save scumming your way through this game, you know, would be really helpful, but you can't with the saves being bugged in that manner. Second large game-ending bug. This UI, which I've mentioned multiple times, is your escort. Your escort fleet can become bugged, either during a mission, after a mission, whenever. And the second that it becomes bugged, you no longer have access to those abilities. The Independence, for example, which gives you 1 free mission, is phenomenal, but it can become bugged and you just don't have access to the button. This will be green, you will click it, no menu will pop up. You'll not gain access to your ready missions. You'll click it, the Saipan never seems to bug, but the Chicopee will absolutely bug. It won't replenish squadrons. Nothing will pop up. And when that does happen, it's frustrating because you're screwed. You'll have to literally restart your game and the map in order to complete that. If you don't, well, that's that. So those are game-breaking bugs. Other than that, this game is fun. Honestly, for me, it's very fun. It is very micromanaging and crunch-oriented. This game gets very big very quickly. You have to manage fires on your ship, people being wounded on your ship, segments needing repair, ship flooding, all those things like that, which thankfully is just setting people to fix them and hope that they get there on time. But in addition to that, you have your orders, which I never gave during any of this. Your orders require seamanship and airmanship. That's on the left side, orange, and on the right side, blue. So let's assume I was under attack and I wanted to defend myself with defensive positions. I'm not going to need to resupply, so I'm going to say I want a defensive position. So I now need to allocate at least 1 Navy point and at least 1 air point to make this order happen. Thankfully your captain, starts with 3-3. So I can do that with that. Or, instead, I can order these 2 gentlemen to do it. They will leave the conning tower from whatever they're doing and perform that action. So he's going, that's me, going down below deck to, for the next 3 hours, increase my fleet defense and my defense. Which is pointless, I didn't need to do that, but I was just doing that to show you what needs to be done to achieve that. If I wanted to do this faster, just for the, and I should have done this, I should not have caught these planes. I should have only landed my VIP rescue mission. The second your VIP rescue mission finishes landing, you win in the first mission. So this is actually another important note. Deck management is huge, just like Magic the Gathering. So you'll note the deck is currently covered in planes, but I can still recover planes. Here's the thing, though. The time it takes to recover a plane when your deck is full is dramatically increased over what it normally is. So normally, they'd land and park themselves on one of these locations to allow for more planes. But right now, that's not allowed. So the first 3 planes are going to land, but they're going to have to also stow them below deck. And that actually dramatically increases the time it takes for fleet recovery. And that's that. Once that plane goes under, we will have successfully completed the first mission on the hardest game setting without more or less any hitches. Now, things I will say, when you play this game normally, you aren't going to know where the enemy fleets are. You're not going to have the strategies in mind. You're not going to be able to rapidly, identify and resolve those issues. We lost 5 squadrons because I sent in a bunch of planes to their death in order to just complete the mission rapidly. But congratulations, that's Wake Island completed in 10 hours instead of 20 hours. Destroying all the enemies. We could have lost less squadrons had we so chosen, but we chose not to. Alright, the reason why we lost 5 squadrons, we could have done it in 2. The reason why we lost 5 is because we sent 2 squadrons out to their death. It's technically 3 out to their death at the start with that free attack, and then in addition to that, 2 of them were not recovered on the deck because I chose not to. I was like, whatever. And I just simply replaced those 2 planes using my Chicopee. So, at the end, these are medals, commendations you get for completing the mission. Over here, when your renown level increases, we provide defensive bombing. Defensive bombing is your card as your admiral, since you're the admiral, so that whenever you level up, defensive bombing levels up. In this case, the defense of the previous maneuver increases from 125 to 150. It's a decent card. You'll probably play it a lot. Beyond that, you get command points and upgrade points. Those are static based on the mission. This is story mode, so these were already told to you that you were going to gain. This is more money that you can use to replace your plane, buy new ships, etc. Upgrade points are usable across the board. We're going to award medals. So, awarding medals can either go to your crew or your officers. Improving your officers improves their card. In this case, it's going to improve precision bombing. And you sometimes are given a choice. So in this case, there was no choice. The officer just got that. But the next level, I believe you actually get a choice between increasing their actual airmanship or their seamanship bonuses or what have you. And that improves the amount of orders they can give. Or it can improve the card. You get to pick, basically. If you upgrade a crew, which I highly recommend, they can gain all sorts of stuff. Lone Wolf, which gives them 10% more efficiency when they're alone. Generalist is 7% more efficiency at all times. Engineering is 10% more efficiency, but only in the engineering department. Lone Wolf is useful because you might only need 1 medical personnel, you might need only 1 person in engineering, you might need only 1 navigator, things like that. If ever you need only 1, this guy is very useful to just outright have 10% anywhere, wherever he's alone. Generalist is very good to have because it means that they're good anywhere on your ship, though they give less of a bonus than the straight up 10%. Old Man is going to get either medical, Lone Wolf, or Generalist. We're going to go with Lone Wolf and medical are basically the same. We're going to go with a Lone Wolf. He's an old man. There you go. Bam. So now those guys are promoted. Everything is done. We're going to continue back to the harbor. And the harbor is back here. Now, the other thing that I will note is, where are my ships? This is not a bug, chat. Things that they don't tell you, your escort ships are used up in those battles. And the next battle, and this is for the campaign, for the next battle they will be unavailable. So you have to create your fleet from whatever other ships you have left in your fleet. So that's something that is of note. Always bring a Chicopee. You cannot buy more, and the reason why is because it's one of the most overpowered abilities in the game. It basically gives you 2 planes at any given point in time. Very useful. Saipan and S-Type. It doesn't really matter what fleet because I'm not going to play another mission for you guys. I played through the first mission, showed you how to beat on the hardest game setting. I'm sure you guys will be able to figure it out from there. You guys are smart. You guys know what's up. Other than that, you can come into your crew and you can see which ones are upgraded. See? They now have their own different icon. It lets you know what they are. By the way, Lone Wolf and Team Player are reversed. This says its specialty is Team Player but grants Lone Wolf. And the other one, when you get Team Player, it's going to say that it has Team Player but grants the other one. It doesn't matter. It's a typo. That needs to be fixed also. But yeah, Other than that, you can now, using your command points that you have, upgrade your bombers, your etc. By the way, when you upgrade your aircraft... Oh, by the way, during the campaign... Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. During the campaign, the planes that you lose are gone forever. So in this instance, we have 8 dive bombers, but we only have 5 torpedoes and 6 fighter aircraft. So we have to actually replace the ones we lost. And that costs green money. And now we're out of money. So we won't be buying anything new, but we can upgrade them. So before I go, I'll show you what upgrades do. Upgrading your fighters means any card you play that uses fighters is improved. Any card you play using dive bombers and torpedoes. Note, every single one of these menus has a confirmation button, except for upgrading these. So once you upgrade them, they're upgraded. And they don't give you a warning. Just letting you know that. So that's all. I'm Cardboard Ninja. I hope you guys enjoy this. Thankfully, we didn't come across the game crippling bugs, but there are game crippling bugs. I'll give you my rating of this game right now. I actually like it a lot. It's worth for me the money because of the micromanagement. I love it. If you were into World War II carriers, I love it. All sorts of stuff. I didn't do any of the more advanced tactics like moving the carrier, but that is very advanced because you actually have to move your carrier to be within strike and recovery distance of your opponents. All sorts of crazy shit. Yada, yada, yada. I actually do very much like this game. The game crippling bugs are crippling. I highly suggest that you wait for a patch note that says fixed the inability to load games or fixed the menu UI not functioning for your support, your escort, before you actually buy this. So for now, don't get it until that's fixed. But if you're like me and you're a hardcore strategist and you like time management, fleet management, figuring stuff out, Magic the Gathering style attack, defense, etc., this game might be for you. So, Cardboard Ninja, thank you for your time. I hope you enjoy the first mission of what is this, Aircraft Carrier Survivor? Because aircraft carriers do be surviving though. All right.